Why, howdy everybody, it's I, Scott, the review guy here, coming to you from the night of, I believe tonight is Tuesday, March 10th, or 9th, 10th, I think, 2009. I don't know because I really don't know what day of the week it is. I'm really a very confused person. ECW, I was going to wait till tomorrow to do this, but I said, nope, darn it, I'm going to do it right now. I'm going to do it tonight because I have some things I would like to say and I don't want to forget what I want to say before tomorrow. So, here we go. First of all, let me mention Raw, the developments on Raw last night. That's how I started last week's video, so I say, hey, I'll do it again. The Triple H and Orton thing to me was silly this time around. It just didn't play well. It just was kind of silly looking. And all those people in Orton's house, and Mrs. Orton's horrible hairdo. I'm sorry, Mrs. Orton, you're lovely, but, you know, the Donald Trump thing where you part it back here and comb it all forward, doesn't work. Doesn't work for all people. It works for the Donald, Mr. the Donald, but not for you. But yeah, seeing Triple H run around with a hammer, it just, you know, it's just, last week I felt like it made, the developments gave the story more weight. I felt that this week it took weight away. It just took it out of the, I don't know, it was just too much for me. Anybody agree? Okay, just a thought. So that was Raw, and the reason I mention it, obviously, to give my thoughts and see what anybody else said, but there was a Raw recall, or whatever they call it in the thing, so it came to mind. First match of the night, The Miz versus Primo Colon. Now, let me say this. Next week, or no, this coming Friday night, there's going to be a match for the World Tag Team titles, which I guess means that the Colons could unify the titles. Somebody commented and said, ooh, Miz and Morrison to unify the titles at WrestleMania, which was a very exciting idea until I realized, wait a minute, they would have to fight the Colons at WrestleMania. And I'm sorry, but I just don't see anything in the Colons. They are. Do you like how I'm pronouncing it with the dialect? Because that's the cool thing to do, you know. But the Colons I just don't. Now, Primo I used to like, but he has slowly, you know how some people grow on you? The opposite has happened with Primo. I started out liking him, and the more time goes by, the less I like, and I don't know what it is. He just, I don't know. So, and I didn't like the Crime Time Miz and Morrison feud, but I think that carried infinitely more weight and infinitely more interest than the Colons versus Miz and Morrison. So I don't want to see Miz and Morrison fight the Colons at WrestleMania. I don't even want to see them fight on Friday night. I just wish this would end. All right? End. And I don't know. And this is one of those things where I look at it and say, what do you see in these guys? Same with Kozlov. The same with well, a lot of other people, you know? We could go on for hours, but I just can't happen to think of anybody. But it's one of those things where obviously management sees something in these people, and they do things, and it's just, okay. Moving on now. See, when you're rambling, it's one thing, but when you're rambling and unable to say the words, find the words to express your rambling thoughts, that's when it's time to move on. So it's time to move on. That's what I'm doing. The next match of the night we saw was Tyson Kidd versus DJ Gabriel. Why? I told you it was late, so I can't even think exactly what my next word is going to be. It's probably going to be what or why, so that was... my question, though, is this. Who is Tyson Kidd? And that's a question I would like for Tyson Kidd to answer. Okay, first of all, and I know there are people who say that wrestling has transcended the good guy, bad guy dichotomy. You know, you don't have to be good and you don't have to be bad. It's just, I disagree. I think you can have good guys with bad qualities, but for the most part, a character, a wrestler, a personality is going to either be good or bad. So what is Tyson? We don't know. What is Gabriel? We don't know either, but he's closer to being a face than he is to being a heel. And then Tyson is vice versa. So I don't quite know what to make of Tyson Kidd. In the ring, I don't know what he's all about. As a force, I just don't get him. He's certainly got talent. He's certainly got a lot of things going for him. But I'm just not feeling, not feeling it quite yet. So, Tyson, who are you? Next next match, late, I'm sorry, my goodness. The next thing we saw, pardon me, Evan Bourne returning next week. Now, this is a beautiful segue to the next match of the night. I went on a website. There's a website. There are several websites that I frequent to get my wrestling news, and I'm trying not to read spoilers because it spoils it. All right. I mean, I'm sorry. But really, what's the point of reading a spoiler if I'm going to be watching the shows and it's going to ruin? So I'm sitting there, and the ECW spoilers is there, and there's a little picture of Evan Bourne. So I text Chris. I say, "Hey, Chris," in my text. I have a habit of doing that. I start my text by saying the name of the person I'm texting, which is really, kind of pointless. So I said, I told him what I saw. I said, I'm not going to look at the spoilers, but I'm going to guess either Bourne or Morrison will win tonight. I didn't realize about the Morrison match either, or the Miz thing. But I said, I bet either Bourne or Morrison will win because one of them needs to be in this ladder match. And Chris, of course, said, I know who did, because I'm sure he read the spoilers, because he doesn't care about ECW, even though he obviously reads the spoilers, which means he cares a little bit. So anyway, it turns out not to be either one of those two, Morrison or Bourne. Bourne, however, will return next week, so that's why I'm putting my money on the Bourne ECW title shot at Mania, which he will win. I'm just saying it. I'm laying it right on the line. But anyway, so the Battle Royal begins, and I gotta say, the ladder match is filling up with people. I'm apologize if I'm being overly cranky about this, and maybe it's too late at night, and maybe I'm a jerk when I'm tired, and maybe I am. Love it or leave it, ladies. Not ladies, anybody. I'm kidding. So the ladder Money in the Bank match has not been shaping up to my pleasure. I'm really glad Kofi's in there. Love Kofi Kingston, and I've thought that this would be a really great shot for him to show his stoof. Morrison, I think, obviously would be great as a performer in the match, as a competitor performer in the match. But also, I think it's about time for him to step into the main event scene, and he's probably gonna have to be pushed there. And probably even pushed there in a less than traditional way. So Morrison, but I'm a little. So Morrison's not in there obviously, but MVP. I think he's also ready and prime for a main event push. So that, but then a lot of the other guys I'm thinking don't really. It's almost like when they try to fill and I'll be quick about all this. When they try to fill out a card with fan favorites. Hey, let's have a 6-man tag match because we're in England. Let's put everybody in there that everybody likes. So yeah, and that's fine. But it kind of let's make the Money in the Bank. It should be about the rising stars battling it out to become the top rising star. And I don't see that happening this time around. Anyway, of all the competitors we saw tonight, the two that I would have wanted in there, Jimmy Wang Yang and Christian, of course. Now, my one thing about Christian, and I'll talk quickly because, I'm very short on time. First of all, I think Christian should be a main eventer, and I think a singles main eventer. I'm a little upset that he's working so many tag matches and battle royals and all these kinds of things. It's diluting him. That's not the best word, but it's keeping him down a little bit, in my opinion. But that said, I thought this was a great match. I thought it was so exciting. The two couple times when Christian was about to go over, and I was literally at the edge of my seat, and he didn't go over. Anyway, so that's that. I apologize tremendously if I was too cranky or too incoherent. But hopefully my thoughts were across. Please tell me what your thoughts were. Write them below. I would love to read them. And yeah, so we'll see you for the Friday's review. And thank you for watching, and have a good night. Or day, or yeah, see you soon.